A few hours to go for the FPL deadline. In today's video, we're talking through my team for Game Week 9, captaincy plans, transfer plans, what I've done already, what I'm considering doing. I'll give you the full rundown. Key to get you involved. I want to know where your team stands ahead of Game Week 9. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Reminder, firstly, it's an earlier deadline. Do not let this catch you out. It's Friday, 6:30 p.m. UK time, because there is a Friday night game. So on screen is my team. At the moment, I've made no transfers, and I do plan to roll my transfers. I cannot see this changing, actually, from now, because at the time of recording, the deadline, is later. It's still open to make transfers, to make changes, but I don't think I'll change that. And my thinking behind that is, I want to make two transfers, so a double transfer in the next game week. And now, I look at Bruno Fernandes, I look at Strand Larsen. I think for the long term, both, don't get me wrong, good players in their own kind of way, but I think you have to get them out of that team. I think they can do a lot better than that. So up until now, I haven't rolled the transfer, put it that way. I've used the free transfer every single week, so I'm hoping to break that trend in this case. But right now, the captain's armband for me has gone on Mortemado, you may have seen, and Fulham are a team this season that I think have played just okay, but I think it's the fine margins that are costing Fulham, and it's getting those performances to turn them into results. I don't think a lot's missing from Marco Silva. There are a lot of teams in the Premier League you go, okay, they're quite far away from winning games. Don't think Fulham are. I just think they need a flick of a switch and they're kind of away, if only it was as simple as that. But with my team, you can see it there, it's a 3-4-3 formation, so I'm going to talk you through it. Donnarumma and goal have gone. Villa away is a tough fixture, but the same stretch of the imagination. Roof's on the bench, who I like. I think he's going to keep a lot of clean sheets, especially at home this season. He's away, like Sandler, to Chelsea. Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. It's a tough game, so Donnarumma, I've gone with that one. I don't think either keeper will keep a clean sheet, if I'm honest, but who's more likely? I've gone with Donnarumma in my assessment there. Backline then, I've gone with Porro, Gehi and Targarski. It's tough. I don't think any of them will keep a clean sheet, but at the same time, you look at Konsa and Van der Ven on the bench. You can't play Konsa when you got, which you'll get onto, City's attack and Haaland at the moment. Van der Ven with Tottenham, my club, I like, and I think are very good defensively. But look at some of the attacking players that Everton have. We'll get onto the team later because I've got a few in there too. Gehi against Arsenal as well is really tough to keep a clean sheet. Targarski too, but all three of those defenders I've deemed the most likely not to keep a clean sheet but to get points from an attacking return. Definitely Porro. Gehi, I'm thinking from set pieces, and same with Targarski in the box with their head, I'm thinking more than anything. So gone with those three, but Van der Ven and Konsa are good centre backs, but this game is going to be tough for both of them. Midfield then, I've gone with Nadai, Fernandes, Kudus and Grealish. So let's start with the Everton attackers, Grealish and Nadai. Firstly, Grealish. I love Porro for my club, Tottenham, and I think he's a really good right back, and he gets too much hate. However, his fault, if any, would be defensively, and Grealish will be on that left-hand side. Porro will be up against it, be a 1v1, and I do back Grealish in that 1v1 every day of the week. Unfortunately, nothing against Porro, but just if it was Spence, I'd trust it a little bit more. Just Porro's really good going forward. It's just not his strength, 1v1 defensive duels, and that's where Grealish could thrive in this game. So it feels only right that the vice-captain's armband at least is on him, and he's got to start this game. Nadai too, I think is a really good player, tidy player, very effective player, doesn't waste many chances at all. Kudus as well, my club, Tottenham's best player this season, no doubt about it. I don't think he'll get bags and bags of goals and assists, but he's a dangerous player, and he's always got an opportunity with these beautiful crosses and dribbling to get an assist. Bold call, I'll go in Fernandes over Semenya. This is not something I plan to do every single week at all. Like I said, I do plan to get Fernandes out soon, but I'll just look at Semenya firstly with Bournemouth and go Forest at home. Sean Dyche just gets a clean sheet. His first game in charge as Forest boss against Porto. And it was a 2-0 win in the Champions League in midweek, and we know that Sean Dyche's side going to be a lot better defensively, so Forest will be like they were under Nuno defensively. But I doubt they've not got Ange anymore. They're going to concede less goals, so I think Semenya could be denied, despite the brilliant player he is. And you have those players in FPL over the course of a season where you go, I'm just not going to transfer them out, or I'm not going to be very reluctant to. I have one in that whole squad that is just like a definite, I'm not going anywhere, and it is Semenya. Even unless he gets a ACL injury or anything like that, and God forbid, I hope he doesn't. Not for my sake, FPL, but for his sake as well, the way he's playing. I'm not, he's not going anywhere. Bruno Fernandes, I think Brighton at home, I think United's an opportunity to get 3 wins in a row, and I think against Brighton, but if it's the Amex, it'd be tougher, but I think Fernandes is a possibility he could get a return on this one. So this is just a game-by-game basis. This is not something that will happen again at all. Frontline then, Haaland, even though it's a tough fixture, Villa away in its own kind of right, you can't turn your nose away from Erling Haaland. You just can't ignore Haaland and Man City at the moment. It's a no-brainer and still a captain's option even despite the tougher fixture. Ultimado, like I said, I've gone with and I have put the armband on. It just, Fulham, I just think, not quite there yet, not where they want to be. It's a case of getting new signings like Kevin to gel, and are you going to have him more as a substitute or a starting player? So it's not quite right for Marco Silva yet. And the big surprise to many people, and let me explain, hear me out, is Strand Larsen, Jorgen Strand Larsen. He's one of the players that do plan to transfer out next week. I probably kept hold of him too long, if I'm honest, but I just feel like Strand Larsen's one of those players that when he gets one, he gets 2, he gets 3, he gets 4, or in the space of kind of a month. I think he just needs one. I don't think he's going to be like scoring the goals of Erling Haaland. Let's be clear about that. But I think Strand Larsen's a very good striker and what is a poor Wolves team. I don't think Strand Larsen, whatever he does this season, will have enough or be able to do enough to keep Wolves up. But the point is, he's an excellent striker. So it made sense to go with him before a ball was kicked because I didn't know Wolves are this bad. I picked him, by the way, Strand Larsen in my initial draft team. That's why he's still here, but he's going the long term. Don't worry about that. But I've kept him in and started him this week with being Burnley at home. Scott Parker's team looked a lot more defensively disciplined, and Scott Parker looks like he's learned a lot from his time in the Premier League, particularly defensively, but still a chance there. That is my team. I think the average, just to have a quick look, was 56, wasn't it, last week? Yeah, 56, and I got 66. So it's always hard to predict how many points you should or will get because you don't know what the average is going to be. But if I aim for a similar 66 points, but let's say 65 points, I'll be happy with that because I think the average might be a little bit higher, maybe around 62 points for this week. But like I said, reminder, it is a 6:30 p.m. deadline. But in terms of your team, let me know in the comments below. You can either get in touch with me on social media at Harry Scarfe 22 and tag me on any social media, any posts, for example X, tag me in your team, or send it to me, whatever you prefer. Reply to your team, listing it one by one in the YouTube comments, send me a picture in the YouTube comments, whatever works for you. But I'm very interested to know your plans for Game Week 9. What are your transfer plans? What have you done already? What are you going to do? Who are you captaining? Who are you vice captaining? What should state your team looking like ahead of Game Week 9? But I wish FPL managers all the best, and I cannot state enough how important it is that you don't forget that deadline of 5:30. And is it 5:30? It's 6:30, PM UK time, and that is on Friday night because it is an early game on Friday night. That is why we find it a little bit early. It's between Leeds and West Ham, but make sure to make your transfers in time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I may bring YouTube videos to the channel soon rating your FPL teams, so let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. But like I said, all the best, good luck to you.